Good evening, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order, the Police Advisory Review Committee. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Chief Noel and your staff, your team. Mr. Mills, appreciate you being here. Thank you to the committee for being here tonight, and we welcome those members of the public that are here tonight. As we get started, we'd like to start by reviewing the mission, vision, and rules of decorum for Parc, and Ms. Barkus is going to lead us in that.
You just want me to read? The mission of the Police Advisory, do I have to push a button? Totally unprepared for this. The mission of the Police Advisory Review Committee, Parc, is to provide community members of the City of Knoxville a civilian oversight committee that audits the discipline process, policies, and procedures of the Knoxville Police Department. Purpose. The purpose of Parc is to strengthen the relationship between the community members of the City of Knoxville and the Knoxville Police Department by providing a timely, fair, and objective review of community complaints. Parc also assists community members in navigating the investigative process after filing a complaint with the KPD. Rules of decorum. Those who wish to speak during public forum should sign up by contacting the Parc office ahead of time or signing up in person prior to the start of the meeting at 6 p.m. All speakers will be given 5 minutes. Please do not use profanity and remember to stay on topic. Those who fail to adhere to these rules may be ruled out of order and asked to step away from the podium. For those who are listening, please note that you may not disrupt a public meeting from the audience. Those who do may be asked to leave. We appreciate everyone's respect for these rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is the approval of the Q2 meeting minutes. Do we have, I think all of those were distributed via email. Any questions or discussion regarding that? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, we have
Second.
a motion. Second by Ms. Vargas. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up is the Executive Director's Report. Jared Krim.
Also known as the highlight of tonight. I'm joking. I'm going to do a little bit of a different style going forward of this. I'm not just going to read you the list of things that I did. There's a long list, but I'm going to kind of give you a small bit of narrative and submit my report for the board's approval. So first, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. The mission of empowering the people and their knowledge and access to police oversight continue to be the priority of this office. A few highlights have been our work with KCDC doing what we're calling office hours. And those office hours are where we go out into the respective KCDC properties and set up tables, and we listen to the residents. And if the residents have, I won't just say complaints, but if they have any sort of interactions they want to share, because some of them are indeed positive, we record those and we report back to the department with questions, or we report back to the department with their accolades. And also we were in attendance, Josie, my colleague here, and myself, in Chicago for approximately a week, attending the NACOL, which is a national police oversight board, body. And we learned just a slew of things that we brought back to Knoxville and we will be using to improve the process that we have here locally and improve the work that we're doing. In addition, we've collaborated with KPD in their strategic planning sessions, and I want to give a public kudos to our chief for inviting me to participate in that process. I really felt that it was very fruitful. I thought it was very honest exchange of ideas from everyone involved. And I was very proud to be a part of that process. And I see from in the future a lot coming from that time that we spent together. And in addition to that, those are just a few of the key things. You'll find my full report in your briefing materials, and I submit that report for the board's approval. Thank you.
So moved.
So we have a motion to approve from Ms. Williams.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that.
Second.
Second, Ms. Parkus, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Jared. Next up, we're going to be hearing from our subcommittee reports. And first is the review of our audio-visual report by Ms. Dietl.
Would you like me just to read the paragraph on the back? The Knoxville Police Department's General Order 2.16, parentheses, digital audio video recording equipment, end parentheses, details that officers and vehicles equipped with audio video recording equipment shall be in a record mode at all times when there is potential for contact with a person in the community, whether on duty or during secondary employment. The purpose of digital audio video recording equipment is to monitor all contacts with a person in the community in all situations possible. In addition, Knoxville Police Department requires sergeants to review officers' audio and visual footage twice a month, parentheses at random, to ensure that their equipment is operating properly. Would you like me to read the first part of that? The July through December?
Yes.
So for the third and fourth quarter, July 1st through December 31st, 2023, of the 4 referral action forms and 2 internal affairs cases reviewed by the Parc, there were 2 cases with documented audio-video recordings based on body-worn cameras and/or the incident taking place in the vicinity of the officers' patrol vehicles and within a recordable range. The Audio-Video Subcommittee submits the following findings for our second quarter review. File number 1, IAU case 23-2898. There was no applicable audio-video for this case. File number 2, IAU case 22-2908. The audio-video equipment for the involved officer was functioning properly and captured the incident being reviewed. File number 3, IAU case 23-2908. This case appears twice because it involves 2 different officers. Please note the same IAU case number. The review is the same as above. File number 4, IAU case 23-2909. There was no applicable audio-video for this case. File number 5, IAU case 23-2910. There was no applicable audio-video for this case. File number 6, IAU case 23-2913. There was no applicable audio-video for this case. File number 7, IAU case 23-2919. There was no applicable audio-video for this case.
Thank you. Next up is our report on racial profiling, and Ms. Williams will read that for us, please.
Racial profiling report, third and fourth quarter, which entails July the 1st through December the 31st, 2023. There were 5 alleged racial profiling bias-based policing cases reviewed by Parc during these quarter reviews. KPD policy and procedure reviewed. General Order 1.41 bias-based policing policy. It is the policy of KPD that we are committed to preserving the peace and maintaining order in the city of Knoxville by practicing bias-free policing and respecting the rights and dignity of all citizens. Definition 2, bias-based profiling, the practice of stopping, detaining, or searching a person based solely upon a common trait or a group that includes but is not limited to their race, color, ethnicity, age, gender, sexual orientation, religion, economic status, or any other identifiable group characteristic. Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
Third and fourth quarter operations report. Yeah, okay, I was thinking it was.
And finally, the operations case review will be read by Tyrone Beach.
Third and fourth quarter operations report, July 1st through December 31st, 2023. The following report provides a total for the current quarter cases reviewed, KPD closed IAU and or referral actions form cases. The number is 7. Parc community complaints received via Parc office, 27. Community complaints referred to IAU or a captain, 6. Total cases received includes an IAU and complaints to Parc, 43. Total cases pending, complaints that are awaiting review by Parc upon the completion of a KPD or Parc investigation, 19. Total cases closed, the overall number of cases reviewed and closed by Parc staff, 24. Resolution of community complaint cases, Parc staff, 16. KPD contacted the complainant, and the complainant decided to not move forward with a formal investigation, or KPD conducted the investigation and shared their findings with the complainant directly. 6. Mediation, Parc staff and KPD. Parc staff met with the complainant and the KPD to provide mediation services to resolve issues and concerns. 0. Referrals to appropriate agencies. Parc office received a call or calls regarding issues involving other law enforcement departments. The number is 6. Parc year-to-year comparison operations report from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022. Total cases brought to Parc from September 22nd, 1998 to present, 2,713, and from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, 2,803. The total cases closed from September 22nd, 1998 to present, from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022, 2,650, and from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, 2,724. Cases resolved by Parc office from January 2022 to December 2022, 18. From January 2023 to December 2023, 43. Resolved by mediation between Parc office and KPD from January 2022 to December 2022, 0. And from January 2023 to December 2023, 1. Resolved by KPD from January 2022 to December 2022, 20. And from January 2023 to December 2023, 8. Referrals to appropriate agencies from January 2022 to December 2022, 3. And from January 2023 to December 2023, 12. Total cases pending from January 2022 to December 2022, 0. Total cases pending from January 2023 to December 2023, 19. Parc cases referred to IAU or captain for the year. For January 2022 to December 2022, 14. For January 2023 to December 2023, 8. IAU cases reviewed by Parc staff and committee. Internal affairs, 13 from January 2022 to December 2022. 30 from January 2023 to December 2023. Referral action forms from January 2022 to December 2022, 8. And 0 for January 2023 to December 2023. 30. And this as well. 2023 third and fourth quarter internal affairs unit case review. File number 1, case type IAU case number 23-2898. Code of conduct 1.33, submitted false reports. Internal Affairs Unit findings, 3rd degree exoneration. File number 2, case type IAU case number 23-2908, code of conduct 3.00, courtesy, first degree sustained, third degree exonerated. File number 3, IAU case number 23-2908, code of conduct 3.00, courtesy, first degree sustained, third degree exonerated. File number 4, case type IAU case number 23-2909, code of conduct 2.04, conduct general, first degree sustained. File number 5, case type IAU case number 23-2910, code of conduct 2.04, conduct general, first degree sustained. File number 6, IAU case number 23-2913, code of conduct 3.00, courtesy, first degree sustained. And file number 7, IAU case number 23-2919, codes of conduct 1.04, conformance to laws, 1.19, unbecoming conduct, 2.04, conduct general, and 1.27, unexcused absence, daily, first degree sustained. Complaints consist of rudeness, language, courtesy, citation issues, etc. may be documented on a referral action form and forwarded to the officer's supervisor. The Internal Affairs Unit typically does not conduct investigations related to referrals, but will review all referrals to ensure their accuracy and completion. Internal Affairs Unit case, complaints that consist of deadly force, allegations of corruption, misuse of force, criminal misconduct, etc., will be investigated by the Internal Affairs Unit. Should an investigation uncover criminal conduct, it will be turned over to the Criminal Investigative Unit, CID, of the Knoxville Police Department, or in some cases, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI. The Police Advisory and Review Committee, Parc, is tasked with either concurring or not concurring with the completeness of case investigations provided for review by KPD's Internal Affairs Unit, in which committee members are able to ask questions and address concerns pertaining to the cases reviewed. Parc cannot impose discipline upon KPD officers. Instead, recommendations for discipline can be moved to the Chief of Police, at which they decide how to move forward.
Thank you, sir. I apologize. I inadvertently let you carry us on into the next section, but I thank you for that nice segue. Of the 7 cases that were reviewed by Parc, committee members agreed with all of the findings. There was one comment submitted from the committee on file number 1, that's case 23-2898. The comment is, it seems apparent that this situation could have been avoided had Sergeant Cox simply rolled down his window and offered assistance. His reasoning was that he was concerned for the safety of his family. This communicates to me that he was assuming criminality, and the question is why. Anyone who drives by this home knows that an officer lives there. Why would he not share those same concerns with regards to the KUB employee? This easily avoidable situation has damaged the fragile trust with the community that Sergeant Cox has agreed to both protect and serve. The official response from KPD is that KPD officers are public servants. Each officer has a duty to provide assistance to the public. Sergeant Cox sought assistance from on-duty officers to respond to the crash to ensure a police response, but fell short of the expectations I have for KPD officers, especially a sergeant. Chief, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
I mean, only thing I'll add is, that this, I agree with the statement. This was easily avoidable. He should have just rolled up and talked to the person. Very, very simple. This employee has since retired from the department, no longer works here. But, I expect our officers to get out and engage. That's what should have happened here.
Thank you for that clarification. Next up is committee business. Any matters of committee business I should ask from anybody from the committee?
Sorry, I have a question, just clarification, looking at these statistics that, I have a question before, I was like, I should just get some education. For the cases pending, that Tyrone was speaking to, year-to-year comparison operations report, total cases pending for the year 2022 says 0, the year 23 it says 19. Can you explain what that means? Does that mean that there are 19 cases that are currently in process, or? Oh, is this something for you? I'm sorry. I wasn't sure who to ask that of. Just what?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's on our end. So those are cases total throughout the fiscal or the calendar year that we're in the process of reviewing or waiting further footage or different things of that matter. So we're still in the process of reviewing those.
So those are not ones that we have already covered. They're the things that are coming down the pipe
They
that
will be
we're
coming
going to
down
be seeing.
now, not all of those are necessarily OPS investigations. Some of them are community complaints as well.
Okay, so the
Majority of which are.
Got you. So the 2022 just says that we've kind of wrapped that up, we've resolved those, and then 23 is, some of those are coming down.
Yeah, they will definitely be coming down the
Okay,
pipeline.
thank you very much for that clarification.
My pleasure.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions from the committee? If not, next on the agenda, we have a speaker from the KPD K-9 unit, I believe. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Can we use this?
Sure.
I think it's the same thing, push that little volume button, should be good to go.
It's the one with little people on it.
There we go. I'm Sergeant Foster. I'm the K-9 supervisor for KPD. I have been a police officer with the Knoxville Police Department for 23 years now. I've been the K-9 commander for the last 5 years, since 2019. I actually handle a single-purpose bomb dog, explosive odor detection dog. He's a yellow lab, 2.5 years old. We got him, I think he was 9 months old. He's the first one that I know of that we've trained in-house as far as a lab. I'm currently assigned to operations support as a staff sergeant. Within that, I oversee the K-9 unit, cadet and explorer program, and animal control. Prior to being a sergeant, I was a patrol officer and a K-9 handler. Currently, we have 12 K-9 teams within the department. 10 of those are dual-purpose patrol narcotics dogs, 2 of them being single-purpose bomb dogs. The narcotics, they're all certified in detection for marijuana, cocaine, meth, and heroin. We've also imprinted in fentanyl now. The dual-purpose dogs, and I'll let Officer Sexton, he's our senior master trainer, I'll let him talk to you a little bit about K-9 selections and as far as the training and stuff, a lot of the tactics with the dogs. But we've got dual purpose and single purpose. Our dual purpose breeds are, we've got Dutch Shepherds and Malinois. 10 of those, 2 of them, like I said, are single purpose. The bomb dogs, we've got a lab, and then we've got a Malinois. All of them are assigned to the Field Operations Bureau with the exception of 1. He works with organized crime and our interdiction team. We provide 24/7. We've always got a K-9 working, a dual purpose K-9, 24/7, 365 days a year. Besides just patrol work, we do a lot of public demonstrations. We go out to a lot of the career days at the schools, different churches, daycares. Recently, I've even been to a retirement home. A lot of people love dogs. So it's a big hit a lot of times. With our bomb dogs, I'll talk a little bit about that since I handle one. We conduct the sweeps for the special events downtown throughout the city. We work the UT football games, do sweeps for that. All the parades downtown, we do those sweeps, dignitary visits, things of that nature. Also, if there's a bomb threat at a school or something, a lot of times we'll go do the sweeps with that. We work a lot with our ELD team. As far as, like I said, as far as the selection of the canines, that's kind of a cool process. I've got to go along with them, being the supervisor and watching the trainers test the dogs and stuff. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not an expert, but I'll let Darryl talk about that a little bit, as well as our canine training and the care of the canines and stuff. Thank y'all for having me.
Very good, thank you.
Can you guys see me all right? My name is Daryl Sexton. I've been in law enforcement for about 34 years now, 24 of that with the Knoxville Police Department, 22 years with the K-9 unit. I took over lead trainer responsibilities in probably 2004. Since then, we've been training the dogs in-house. So what we'll do is we'll go to a vendor that we've established a relationship with. They will present dogs to us that we can select and test. And so we run them through a series of tests, very much like a police officer would. Their physical attributes, their drives. We're looking for a dog with a lot of hunt drive and a desire to perform a task. Once we've selected dogs, we'll bring them back to Knoxville. Typically, myself and another trainer will spend several weeks with the dog before we bring in on board new handlers. Currently, there's this class that's finishing up tomorrow that the other trainer is responsible for. So these folks will spend about 8 weeks in this current class training with their canine partners, where they'll be run through scenarios. They will be taught how to properly handle the dog, care for the dog, and they will do a lot of case studies and case law studies, both in the narcotics aspect, use, and as well as the patrol side of things. We'll study a lot of case law with them. So right now we're running about a 320-hour class for that. We're looking for handlers that have some maturity. Years ago, when we first started this, we'll continue this, we'd have a large number of candidates that would asked to be canine handlers. Now we've run into where it's a lot younger folks are applying for the position. So we're getting guys with about 2 to 3 years law enforcement experience are coming into canine, and that's across the country. So they have to pair with the dog, and then they spend that 320 hours training. During that training, we have 3 written tests that they have to pass, and they have to, at the end, pass a certification. The Knoxville Police Department uses the International Police Work Dog Association for our certifications, both narcotics, patrol, and explosives. I have found, I went around in 2005 and I started looking at organizations to certify dogs through. As far as an industry standard, at that time we only had in-house certifications. We wanted to go outside, have other people look at our dogs and certify them to say, hey, we're doing the right things with the dogs. If we say they can do this, they have to be able to perform that task. It's a basic certification, but it's a tough certification. Just for example, the narcotics portion, they have to certify in 3 areas: vehicles, buildings, and other, which could be lockers, packages, luggage, and lockers, packages, or open area search. So they are only allowed 1 incorrect response in all 3 areas. If they get a second incorrect response, they have to start over again on the certification. So it's a very much tougher certification than most of the other associations require. Then we have the patrol side of things where they have to certify as well. In control, there's a case, Kerr versus West Palm Beach, that says, the Supreme Court says we have to have a well-trained dog and it must be under control all the time. So it's a very stringent control test too as well. So we typically train twice a month. Industry standard is 16 hours a month. We maintain that here at the Knoxville Police Department. It's maintenance training, and we're ensuring that the handlers and the dogs still are able to perform their tasks. We review case law and those sort of things during the training. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer them for you.
I actually had a question. I had two questions. One is, I can already guess the answer is no. But the first question, can you explain the bite protocol or what the training is for a K-9 officer to use the bite response on a suspect?
Sure. In our standard operating procedures, we are only allowed to get the dog out of the car to search for subjects who have committed a suspected serious felony. The Supreme Court says that we can use police canines to search for suspects who have committed a serious misdemeanor. That's never been defined of what a serious misdemeanor is. So we've taken it a step further where we say a suspected felon that has committed a serious crime. We're not talking, they wrote bad checks to a felony amount. This is, they have to have committed a serious felony. So the protocol is we have to give them a warning, an announcement, and we have to give that suspect an opportunity to surrender. Then if those requirements are met, then we can release the dog for an apprehension. Now, our numbers will show that we take that policy very seriously here by just our numbers itself in our annual report.
And the likely no question is, can a K-9 dog be purchased once they retire?
Typically, yes. The handler has the first option, and I think it's $1 at the end of their lives. Yeah, there's a big safety issue. Obviously the handler has the first option to take the dog and retire it to his home. I have a retired dog in my house. Currently, I have all my dogs have retired at home. But they have that option. Very rarely do we have an option where a handler won't decide to take the dog for whatever reason. They're home, and then we'll try to place it with another officer. Any other questions?
I have a quick question in terms of fentanyl, because I've heard that sometimes when officers are involved in a situation where they're seeking somebody who might have drugs, that sometimes being exposed to fentanyl just in the air can be really dangerous for the officers. Do dogs have the same risk? Are there certain kinds of risks that dogs are exposed to and when they're doing kind of narcotic searches?
Sure. The dog does run the same risk of being exposed to fentanyl that a human would. And we have a dosage amount that we can deliver Narcan to the dog just like a human. They counteract it. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had that problem here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up is our public forum. I would remind you that comments are limited to those who signed up prior to the beginning of the meeting at 6 p.m. All speakers will be given 5 minutes, and please remember to stay on topic and avoid the use of profanity. First up, the committee would call Christine Jones. No? All right. Tyler Givens. Let's see him. And finally, Robert Lee.
That's our timekeeper right there. Just so you know. Your time.
Good evening. My name is Robert Lee. I live in the city of Knoxville. My case is still pending right now, and I'm waiting for the results. And I'm not going to say too much, but I'm going to tell you there's a deep divide in the community and the policing. I think we have a duty to uphold peace in our community at all costs. And sometimes the officers overstep their bounds on our constitutional rights and our Bill of Rights that are granted by our forefathers. I'm not gonna say too much about what happened, but has anyone ever heard of targeting and gang stalking? You know, I want to do some research on that. There's a lot of things that have been happening in this city that is being hidden from the people. And I'm going to try to expose it because it's not righteous. It's unrighteous to what they do. Our constitutional rights are not trampled on, and they shouldn't be. We're supposed to respect each other and be peaceful with one another. And I disagree with some of the arrests that they have for certain crimes that should be arrestable offenses. And with courteous and kindness, we can resolve a lot of things in this city and get over that, you know, petty stuff. But my case is still pending, and I'll be back. I'm not going nowhere. And I want to get involved because this is my city. And I love this city. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any updates from the community at this time? Community events, announcements?
One community announcement, for those of you all who have young people in your life or work for youth serving organizations, the City of Knoxville Empower Knox initiative and the Youth Council are hosting a youth summit on February 10th at the Chain Center. The registration is currently open, and so if you have young people in your orbit or your network that you work with, we strongly encourage you to sign your young people up and encourage them to attend the youth summit. February 10th.
Thank you. Seeing nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. This concludes our meeting. Thank you.